This is amazing. Oh my God. Oh my God. And so, yeah, the time she could just tell the story. What a nerdy thing to talk about. Oh my God, this is so good. This is the price, the cost of fame, the cost, the price, the cost, the toll. It's all, yeah. Oh my God. I feel like that might be one of the best songs she's ever made. Aching, aching, aching. Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Dan, aka Lucin. I am a singer-songwriter, a lover of all things music, and more importantly, I'm a massive Florence and the Machine fan. And today I'm going to be reacting to her brand new album. This is Everybody Scream. Let's go. Cool. Right. Yes. Welcome, everybody. If you are watching this on YouTube, I apologize for the delay in the edit. Basically, Florence decided to release this album on the day that I flew to Japan for 3 weeks. So I couldn't edit it for 3 weeks. I'm hoping this is out the week after I get back. It might be the week after that. Yeah, future people, let me know when this is. Stupid. Yeah, so I apologize to everybody who's been waiting for so long. Here we are, and I'm very excited. So obviously I've heard the lead single, Everybody Scream. I reacted to that on Patreon, the music video, and I did like a short reaction. When there's like new music coming out, I'll do the uncut version on Patreon, and then I'll make a short out of it. That's kind of like the vibe that I've been going with this year. I haven't actually heard the other two singles at all. I think I haven't even heard any clips or snippets or anything. So I've just heard Everybody Scream. Yes, got my coffee. Before we actually get properly started, if you are new to the channel, then welcome. I love doing reactions that are like super deep dives as well, like track by track breakdown as I go through the album. So yeah, if that sounds good to you, then make sure to subscribe and make sure to check out all my videos, including my reactions to Dance Fever. I haven't reacted to the other albums because, you know, I listened to them on the day they came out, when they came out in like 2009, 2011, 2013 and 2016. Oh no, maybe it's 2015 was How Big Could Be Beautiful, I think, actually. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, I was thinking like I might end up doing like some sort of like retrospective listen throughs, or like maybe start doing like reviews of old albums or something, just for a way for me to like talk about old albums that like I couldn't react to, you know. I might do some of that for Patreon. Yeah, if you fancy that, let me know. Oh yeah, and if you want to support me even further, you can do so over on Patreon, where you can also watch all my reactions with no cuts and get a whole bunch of bonus reactions throughout every single month. In the upper tiers, you can actually request album and song reactions from me, and all of those reactions go out to everybody on Patreon. Every month, there's like at least 3 or 4 extra videos, if not more. Even if you can't afford to like support me financially at the moment, then even going over to the Patreon and go and subscribing to the free tier is good. Like, if you didn't know, there is a free tier on Patreon. It's like just a thing that they added, meaning that you can keep up to date with everything that's going on and still be part of like discussions and stuff. And like, I mean, I love having people on the free tier because like you're right there for me to actually just be able to say shit to, you know. Whereas like algorithmically, you know, these platforms are so unwildly to actually connect to people with. Like, some of you who were big fans of my Dance Fever reaction will like not even necessarily know that I've even done this reaction on YouTube, you know. So it's like, it's one of those things. Also, make sure to leave your top 5 in the comments. Everybody loves doing that on this channel. It's become a tradition. I love going back through them and commenting and reading and comparing. If you wait around to the end of the video, I will share with you what my favourite song is on First Lesson. So make sure to stick around to the end. But also for my like, you know, my album summary. I love kind of getting to the end and being able to like sum it all up in a nice little bow. Anyway, right. Let's stop chatting, Daniel. I need to get on because I can't be missing my flight. Cool. Right. Song number 1 is Everybody Scream. I have heard it, but obviously we need to listen to it as part of the album. I've got a new nose ring because I bloody flushed my other one down the drain. Sorry, I need to stop talking. What am I doing? Right. This is Everybody Scream. Let's go. I love like how strong this is as an opener, you know, how much it sets the tone, the era, you know, it really has such strength of character in that way. perfect Halloween album. Here we are.
On stage, and I call her by her first name, but I always meet her back at this place.
Yeah, the stage.
I break down, get up, and do it all again. I can come here and scream as loud as I want.
Yeah. I love Florence singing about her experience on the stage. It's just like part of the canon, isn't it? Blood on the stage, screaming my name. I love how like drenched in like darkness this is, because it's like something that brings her so much joy, but also there's this like almost like demonic presence, you know.
I'll make you sing for me. I'll make you scream. Everybody dance! Here I can take up the whole of the sky. Unfurling, becoming my full size. And look at me burst.
Becoming my full size. Oh, I literally love it. Isn't it fabulous? It's like she's like inhabited by the spirit, you know, and she becomes this like larger than life, almost monstrous presence on the stage. The imagery is so fabulous, you know. Woo! I love this section. Oh my god, it's so good. Everybody scream. So good. It's obviously an interesting song because it's not like necessarily a kind of traditional lead single kind of vibe. But then we've said about this with Florence in the past. I feel like she always leads with something that is like, we're going to define the era with this lead single rather than like we're going to have a massive hit with it. If you look at eras past, we started with like King on the last one, which has the drama, the setting the tone, and then the kind of more like upbeat, like pop, more pop kind of hit vibe was more like, you know, Free and probably Choreomania. And then you look at like even like on How Big, How Beautiful, how she led with What Kind of Man, which is much more bare. And then Ship to Wreck was the second single, and that was the bop, you know? And so like, that's kind of how I take this I understand that Florence always wants to set the terms of engagement when she releases her first single, and that's very much what this one is. Yeah, there's like so much poetry and imagery, and it's such a great kind of pivot point, this idea of screaming. So obviously in this song, she sets out the everybody scream aspect being like, she can go to the stage and she can scream as loud as she wants. She can truly let herself be free. She can truly let herself go on the stage, right? But then she's saying everybody scream because everybody in the audience can also scream, right? But then this idea of screaming, it has multitudes to it, right? It's also fear, you know, screaming in fear, screaming in anguish, screaming in pain, motherhood, giving birth, womanhood, connecting to femininity, connecting to identity, like female identity, and potentially even connecting into feminism and the trials and tribulations of women and witchcraft and all that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can just extrapolate so many things. And so to center a whole album around this like core kind of poetic metaphor thing of screaming, I think is pretty genius, and like really means that she can go in so many directions. It's like that kind of like creative juice. Yeah, and this song just sets all that up brilliantly. Get on the stage and I call her by her first name, try to stay away, but I'll always meet her back at this place, the stage. And she's always sung about like the way that like, and spoke about on like in interviews and stuff, the way that like she keeps thinking she's going to quit music, and then it's the live shows that bring her back. And you can see that in her performance and on live shows, and she's truly one of the best live performers I've ever seen. And I will see her every single time she comes around. Yes, and I do have tickets in February. It's like the same week that we're also seeing Ray. She gives me everything. I feel no pain. I break down and get up and do it all again. So it's like the adrenaline of being on stage. She doesn't even feel the pain. It's like when she broke her foot when she was running around the O2. I was there. I know I've said this at every opportunity, but I was there at that concert. You know, she didn't feel the pain at the moment because this alter ego had taken over her body, you know, because it's never enough and she makes me feel loved. I can come here and scream as loud as I want. The in-between days where I don't feel like I am enough as a person, I live for the stage because that's where I get fed. But then it feels like a cautionary tale because it's like, if you're living for that moment, then who are you outside of that moment? Maybe that's something that we're going to be exploring on this album. It's like, who are you when you're not on the stage? You know, are you still having a happy life outside of living on the stage? Do you have balance? Can you find balance? You know, yeah, it's like all the things that I wanted Taylor Swift's last album to be. Extraordinary and normal all at the same time, yeah. But look at me, run myself ragged, blood on the stage, but how can I leave you when you're screaming my name? So it's like this act of her being at the O2 Arena, her breaking her foot, her not even realising, her leaving blood on the stage. This is taking a toll on me. It's almost like there's this kind of spiritual presence, this spiritual sense of like karma or something, where it's like, I can't be having this high in experience without there being an equal low, and that equal low is like taking its toll on my physical body as well as potentially on my mind and my sanity. That's kind of very much the vibe I get from this, you know. Yeah, like what's the payment? What is the toll of like this beautiful experience? Is it this like almost like demonic possession? You know, it's all, you know. Here I can take up the whole of the sky, unfurling, becoming my full size. This imagery of like, I mean, it could be angelic, it could be demonic, you know, it could be like a harpy or something, you know, it's got all of that. Aren't you glad you came? Breathless and begging and screaming my name. Yes! The witchcraft, the medicine, the spells and the injections, the harvest, the needle, protect me from evil, the magic and the misery, madness and the mystery. Oh, what has it done to me? Everybody scream. What an amazing way to end the song and like set up the question for the rest of the album. Like the witchcraft, the magic, all the things that I'm poked and prodded and all the medicines and all the potions and spells and everything I do to make it so I can go back on that stage as much as I possibly can. What is the toll? What has that done to me? And that's the question that we're opening this whole album with, you know, what is the toll? I'm so excited. Cool. Let's go on to the next one. This is one of the greats, which I know came out, but I haven't heard it. So let's go. Ooh, very rocky. What a proper, like, classic, like, Americana. You could hear this kind of sound on a Joni Mitchell or a Bob Dylan, you know? Very much that vibe. Oh, that chord.
I crawled up from under the earth, coughing dirt, spitting out my songs.
That imagery. That chord.
Came back from the dead to become one of the great.
God, that chromatic chord just gives me shivers because it's so like unexpected and dark, you know. What does it take? What is the toll?
Inside my chest, killed everyone I'd ever kissed. Each name is stained upon my lips.
Yeah.
I told the truth, but that song is not about you. Got everything I thought I wanted and cried, hung over in a hotel closet. Did I get it right? Do you regret bringing me back to life? Arms outstretched back from the dead.
I like the kind of slow build of this one.
My childhood dream made flesh in my dress.
It's like sonically has shades of How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful about it, you know.
Streetlights bursting overhead, you'll bury me again.
Streetlights bursting.
One of the greats.
Yeah.
One of the greats. But I've really done it.
This song is literally just like one big slow build. Cool. Oh shit.
So afraid of me. It's funny how men don't find power very sexy. So this one's
Oh.
do I drive you crazy?
Oh my god, oh my god.
Do I win the prize? Do you regret bringing me back to life?
I literally love as a line. Do you regret bringing me back to life? Oh.
Arms outstretched back from the dead. Streetlights bursting, too feminine to function.
She's really getting intricate with her like lyricism, you know. Feels like she's taking it a step further. letting the light in. She's crawled her way out of the ground and she's letting the light is cracking through, you know. The imagery is just so good. Oh, the strings. Oh. Yeah. That orchestration is just so beautiful. Wow. God, those like angelic vocal layers are just beautiful. Oh, God, the way that crested and then just like faded out. Oh, just stunning production. Oh, yeah. Oh, really just fab. Obviously, like a slightly slower one, but like I really, really love the shape of that song. I feel like it was very, very nicely thought out, the way that it started with like the electric guitar and her voice, you know, very bare, very stripped back. And it's that, I think that's probably why it's given me a bit of How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful, but also the orchestration kind of connects there as well. The shape of the song, so fab. The way that it, started super bare and then built up to a point and then went back to kind of really kind of like reveal like the heart of the song with that lyric about like, you know, men and then built it back up and then like faded it out beautifully. It was just like, yeah, really, really interesting shape, really, really nice control of dynamics throughout the song. Yeah, and just like, I think that's just central, this message of that song, the story of it, the imagery, this idea of like every single time she comes out to make a new album, it's like we're resurrecting her out of the ground. And she's like, do you regret it yet? The way that she was like, she said like spitting out her songs as if she's had like dirt in her mouth. In between eras, she just gets reburied into the ground and then she rises, spits the mud out of her mouth and starts making new music, you know? It's such a visceral image. It just adds to that layer, the horror layer that really is like, seems to be so key to this like whole era. I crawled up from under the earth, broken nails and coughing dirt, spitting out my songs so you could sing along. Oh, so good. And with each bedraggled breath, I knew I came back from the dead to show you how it's done, to show you what it takes to conquer, to crucify, to become one of the great. It's about what we were saying in the first song, like what is the cost? What does it take in order to become one of the greats, you know? I kept a scream inside my chest, killed everyone I'd ever kissed, or hung them on the wall like trophies, each name a stain upon my lips. So this is one way in which she's paid for this life, and that's her love life. Ending all of her relationships, like we said with The Bomb, you know, that song with The Bomb, where she talks about blowing up her own relationships. That's another connection here, where she's like, everyone that I ever kissed, I've killed and hung them on the wall. It's like a visual reminder. This is the reminder of what I have sacrificed to become one of the greats. You see yourself hung on the wall, but that song is not about you. It kind of suggests the scale at which her music kind of is out of her control, you know, which is like an interesting kind of wrinkle. Got everything I thought I wanted and cried hungover in a hotel closet. Yeah. Did I get it right? Do I win the prize? Do you regret bringing me back to life? So good. Arms outstretched back from the dead, streetlights bursting overhead. So yeah, like the key kind of thing there is like, I thought I'd done it. I've made it. You know, I was success. Like obviously she was extremely successful with Lungs, but then came back with a second album, Ceremonials, which then just went to the next level. And yet the toll, the pain, she thought she'd made it. And in making it, she would find some sort of like perpetual bliss. And that's the kind of very interesting thing to think about, is this idea that like the higher you go, the higher you have to fall, and that everything we have in life has equal and opposite kind of reactions to it. And so there's always some sort of come down. And I don't think she was necessarily prepared for the level of come down that she would have, you know, especially after album 2 going into album 3. I did my best, tried to impress my childhood dream made flesh, my dresses and my flowering sadness, so like a woman to profit from her madness. Oh, that's so good. Burned down at 36. Why did you dig me up for this? It's almost like she's been like unwillingly pulled by this spirit of the stage. You'll bury me again. You'll say it's all pretend, that I could never be great being held up against such male tastes. Yeah, because who really gets to be one of the greats? Must be nice to be a man and make boring music just because you can. Oh my God. No, don't get me wrong. I am a fan. You're my second favourite frontman. I wonder who she's singing about. Oh my God. You could have me if you weren't so afraid of me. It's funny how men don't find power very sexy. I love like the way that this like narrative in this song just kind of like keeps developing and developing and developing, but it all kind of is focused around her career and how she is perceived, how she perceives herself, and what the cost of fame is, you know. But like, even at the immense cost that she's paid, will she ever even be considered one of the greats? Can she even be, in the face of boring men making boring music? You know, it's really just like a very powerful thing to posit on this song, you know. I will let the light in, I will let some love in, I will be happy, it will be perfect. I like how both the songs so far kind of almost like lead on. They kind of end with like another kind of like a question that leads us on to the next thing. Yeah, it's nice. Anyway, we've got to go on to the next song. Love just the imagery and the story of that one. I could go on for hours about it, but we're going to continue because obviously all the stuff where she talks about, like, you know, the feminine energy, like her, isn't it just like a woman to profit from her madness? You know, the way that women are considered mad. You think about the screaming, the connection to that, you know, think about the witch hunt. There's just so many connections and it's like, it's so cool. Anyway, next one, this is Witch Dance. Oh, I'm into it so much already.
Over my legs, let down with death. Stains my nightgown, I put him close. Then it tastes like life. I twist, I bite. Show me the way.
Ooh.
This feeling needs the ache, the kick, the need.
This is so cool.
Shimmering landscape.
Ooh.
Can I keep all this beauty forever in the sun?
Oh, wow. That was so beautiful, and then it just descends back into the madness, you know, it's so good.
Taking constellation, cats and dogs and things that cannot speak.
Oh!
Asked what I could offer them. They said gin and tonic or lithium. They asked which way should
I love that kind of way she kind of, it's like going into like spoken, like, a bit. Whatever's going on with the time signature, I love. It's messy and I love it. Oh, so beautiful. I don't know, it's going between different time signatures, I think, and so it kind of has this like falling, tumbling quality. It's very cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in 7, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Oh. Yeah. I just love the descent out of that section. It's so cool. Oh my god! And now we're in 3/4. So beautiful. It's like she's dancing in a field, you know.
And the earth made a moaning sound. Something shuddered deeper, deeper down. And I met every monster from the bar to Broadway.
Oh my god, I got chills.
And your threats and your promises.
Those stacks of harmonies are so stunning.
Nobody more monstrous than me.
I love that like vocal inflection, the swoop that she does. It kind of creates this kind of scream kind of quality, doesn't it? Oh, the old school harp is back. Cool. Yeah, that one gave me very much like first album energy. Very much first album energy. Like the focus on the harp there really kind of hammered that home for me. What a fucking cool song. Like so many different places. I loved all the rhythm changes. That was so cool. It gives you almost like that sense of like a witch like chant, like a seance, like a spell being cast. If you think about like kind of traditional like Christian like demonic witchy imagery, you think about pentagrams, you think about odd numbers. It's never like even numbers. There's something like in numerology like about like the number 4, which is very pleasant, right? I don't know, do you know what I mean? There's something about that, but the number 7 has often had this kind of like the 7 deadly sins, you know, and you think about the number 5, the pentagram. And, do you know what I mean? There's something about those numbers that kind of have this like kind of traditional kind of, almost like witchy demonic kind of link. And I think that's why in this song, she uses odd time signatures. The chorus is in 7/8. And you make that connection to the 7 deadly sins. You make that connection to that feeling that is surrounded in that kind of numerology, and it almost feels like, therefore it's like a witchy kind of seance, like they're dancing around like a fire to this like the devil's number. Do you know what I mean? You know, like in kind of oldie woldy times, people probably would have heard something in 7/8 and thought this is witch music. Do you know what I mean? It kind of has that feeling to it, which is so genius. To like use the rhythm and the time signature to tell a story is just like, isn't that so cool? Because then actually if you think about the way the time signature changes in that like end section, it's still an odd number. It's still 3. It's something that we're still much more comfortable with as listeners because we're so used to like waltz time, but still is an odd number and a powerful number. But I love that it coincides with the moment of beauty where she finds this beautiful kind of clearing. And so you therefore kind of get this image of her like a witch in the wood, pushing her way through the woods, casting spells, getting chased by people with bloody pitchforks. And then she finds this secret clearing where she has this like sense of freedom and sense of like beauty, and you can almost see her twirling, you know, doing that waltz around this clearing. And so the time signature just tell the story. What a nerdy thing to talk about, but that's me. Isn't that so cool? I literally love that. I need to go on Genius because the lyrics aren't on Spotify yet. Open my legs, lie down with death. Oh my god. We kiss, we sigh, we sweat. So she's fucking death. His blubbery mouth stains my nightgown. I pull him close, wrap my legs around it, and it tastes like life. She's having sex with death. And she's like, almost like fostering a child of death. It kind of feels like a kind of dark spell, like some sort of demonic, like, you know, I'm going to give birth to a demon, like real kind of satanic vibes. The Christians are going to have a field day with this album. They're going to be freaking out. Show me the way this feeling leads, the ache, the kick, the need. Show me the way this feeling leads. Yeah. So I think that has got connections to childbirth, almost like maybe like the biological kind of like need to procreate. You know, obviously not everybody feels that, but like maybe it's something that she's exploring because this could be another sacrifice of her in her career, because as we've said, she hasn't had a traditional relationship, and maybe she will be forfeiting her chance of becoming a mother. Like, you know, she's already in her mid to late 30s. So biological clock is already ticking in that regard. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that is a real kind of like thing on her head, because like so many of my female friends who are in there, and my, you know, family as well, who are in their mid 30s, like, and want to carry a child, you know, it's a question. It's like, do I do it now? Do I do it on my own? Do I wait to find somebody to do it with? Do I wait to find somebody to do it with and then adopt if I can't conceive? Do you know what I mean? There's like all these questions that like a lot of women question around this time of their life. And so I wouldn't be surprised if like that's the connection to childbirth that she's going to, you know, really tease out of this metaphor. A shimmering landscape, I widen my eyes. Can I keep all this beauty forever inside? Yeah, I wonder if the beauty forever inside is like, do I want to become a mother or not? Can I actually keep that beauty inside of me for the rest of my life? Or do I need to express that part of me and have a child, you know? I tear off my nightgown and run naked through the town, run through the rain, through the fog, taking consolation in cats and dogs, things that cannot speak. Ran to the ancestral plane, but they all showed up drunk and insane. When I asked what I could offer them, they said gin and tonic or lithium. Oof. I asked which way to go. Through cigarette smoke, they said, child, how will we know? Oh, what a fucking incredible image. This witch casting this spell so she can speak to her ancestors and ask for guidance. And it's just like a hazy bar full of cigarette smoke with them all getting fucked up, you know. She's completely lost and not even finding guidance in the spirits, you know. I came to a clearing full of wailing and keening. Women said, we've been waiting to meet you. It's only a matter of time. Thrust my fists into the ground. The earth made a moaning sound. Oh, I could feel something shudder deeper, deeper down. I love this idea that like she's found this clearing, this place of like safety, and the imagery of the ground, you know, obviously like the one where like the previous song where she's like rising up from the dead, the imagery of her like screaming into the hole and everything at the beginning of the era, this connection to the dirt, to hear a moaning voice come out of a hole in the ground is such an incredible image, but also kind of goes to show like, what is it inside that is moaning? What is it that she wants? And like there's something shuddering. It's like she's awoken something within her and she's going to have to find an answer to that question. Nobody more monstrous than me. There's this like kind of, oh, wait a second. I remember hearing about this a couple of weeks ago. She spoke about having an ectopic pregnancy. Oh God, my camera ran out of time and I didn't even notice. She had an ectopic pregnancy, didn't she? I remember her talking about this a few weeks ago. That's when like the fertilized egg, I think it's the fertilized egg, ends up in your fallopian tube, which is like instead of in your womb. Obviously that's terrible because if it's going to start growing, it's going to explode and you're going to die. Do you know what I mean? Like that is like, it is a horrible thing to go through. And also like in terms of like appraising her own femininity and looking at herself and her need for children. Do I need this? Do I not? The connection to the earth, to the ground, to death, getting pregnant and almost dying. You know, it's all kind of like so incredibly kind of like intrinsic in the sound of this song. You know, that story, that connection to her womanhood and to potential motherhood, and how the veil between life and death is so thin, creating life but it almost killing her. Like that is such a kind of powerful kind of point at which to be inspired, you know. Yeah, really just phenomenal. And so you can understand like her almost obsession with death and the ground and the earth in this album so far, and the screaming, you know. Yeah, my God. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is Sympathy Magic, which is I think released last week or something, but yeah, haven't heard it. Very excited to hear it. Let's go. Ooh, acoustic guitar and harp. Love that chord. Oh God, it's beautiful. Oh, what a beautiful production. I love the twinkly aspect of it. They're really building on that plucked kind of nature of those instruments and expanding upon it.
Fails me. Names and faces blurred. There is only after or before. Am I so different? As the scar fades.
Wow.
Pulls inside, tugging at me all the time, chewing on a feeling and spitting it out.
Okay. I've got chills all over me.
Humiliations of fate.
Oh my God.
I do not find worthiness about you. I know that it's hard to be good. It didn't keep me safe.
I'm ready.
Like you told me that it would. Let the chorus console me. Sympathy magic. And the light coming in the window.
Every single hair on my arm. Every single one.
And it does not want me on my knees to believe. Aching, aching, aching. And love.
Oh my God.
It didn't keep me safe. Like you told me that it would.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Losing my mind till I cannot contain it. Come on, I can take it. Give me everything you got. What else? So come on, I can take it.
Come on.
What else? What else?
Oh my God, this is beautiful.
Come on, I can take it. Come on, I can take it.
This is the shit. This is why I love Florence. It's the Euphoria, you know? come on. Me. Oh my God, what a beautiful, beautiful song. Oh my God, I love that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just incredible. Oh my God. Nobody does it like her. Nobody does Euphoria like Florence. It's just so beautiful. This is the thing when it comes to like Florence's more modern stuff. Actually, to be fair, this is the thing about all of her career, actually, when you really think about how every album is shaped, is that she always has these songs, like some songs that are smaller, that are kind of more like growling, lower. And she uses those things to like set the table, you know. She uses those songs to kind of tell us about the story, to express more poetry. And those kind of the first three songs kind of have that kind of quality to them. But then there's always the songs that just allow you to just let it all out. It's Cosmic Love. It's Dog Days Are Over. It's, you know, Spectrum. It's the Third Eye song on How Big, How Beautiful, just letting it out, you know. Choreomania, you know, there is songs on every single album that have this like euphoric quality. And I was waiting for it, you know, because these are the moments that I live for when it comes to Florence projects. It's like the way in which she just opens up her mouth and just out it comes, you know, this angelic voice from another plane that is here to just lift you up to the highest heights. And when you're in that live setting, those songs just absolutely just completely are astonishing, you know. And like, this is that song. And I love that, like, in a story way, it's like she's been struggling, she's come close to death. It's like there's so much darkness and pain. And then in this moment, she finds the inspiration to move forward. And you have this like almost desperate sense of, I've come so close to losing absolutely everything. What else could there be? You know, I can do anything. Like, bring it on. You know, that, oh God. Memory fails me, names and faces blur. There is only after or before. Am I so different? Have I changed? Do I not recognize my face? The scar fades but pulls inside. So that must be to do with like the scar from the operation that saved her life, right? I remember having that feeling when I had my appendix out. This was before keyhole surgery because I was like 12. You can still feel like the way that the scar tissue is like, you know, kind of hard. You know, it's a constant reminder of like how she's changed after this, you know, chewing on a feeling and spitting it out, crouched in a ball gown, anxious and ashamed, the vague humiliations of fame, having to deal with such internal pain and shame, you know, in the public eye. I do not find worthiness in virtue. I no longer try to be good. It didn't keep me safe like you told me that it would. So come on, tear me wide open, a terrible gift. Let the chorus console me. Sympathy, magic. Oh, wow. Is that the chorus of this song? You know, or is it the chorus of everybody in the audience singing to her, healing her? Oh, God, what fucking incredible imagery when you think about, like, the way that operation would have physically torn her open. This idea that, like, something that is biological could lead you towards potential death, like giving birth. I mean, that also tears you open even if you successfully give birth. And the way that could like completely damage and bring so much shame to her as a woman, you know, and yet she chooses not to just hold it all inside, but to allow herself to be completely torn open. I will tear myself open. I will choose to tear myself open emotionally and give this song to you so you can sing it back to me. And your sympathy, your connection to the music is the magic that will heal me. You know, that's the sympathy. It's through expressing this in music, she can elicit this sense of sympathy in everybody around her. You know, it's actually such an incredibly powerful image and a very moving thought, you know. And light coming in the window just so, and the wind through my fingers, the God that I know. And it does not want me on my knees to believe. Head high, arms wide, aching and alive. It's just so powerful. The way that she's looking at like a newfound sense of spirituality that doesn't come from like traditional forms of Christianity where she should be begging on her knees for forgiveness. She's like, no, my version of spirituality is holding my head high and walking into life knowing that it's gonna hurt, but I know that I can cope. Tear me wide open till I'm losing my mind, till I cannot contain it. La 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 da 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 da. So come on, I can take it. Give me everything you've got. What else? Come on, give me everything you've got. Oh my God. I feel like that might be one of the best songs she's ever made. I really do, because like musically and sonically it's so stunningly moving and beautiful and captures this feeling of like desperate euphoria, you know. But then in that lyric there, just the meaning of it and the intensity and the power of that image of tear me open, you know, is just astonishing to me. I just think it's incredible. It brings together everything that like she's always been great at, this like euphoric style, but then demonstrates the way in which her poetry is elevating her music to new places, you know. Incredible. I'm obsessed. Right, let's go on to the next song. Oh my God, this is Perfume and Milk. Oof. That guitar is nice and crisp, isn't it? I love the emphasis on guitars in this album. It almost kind of connects her to a more like masculine presentation of like
Perfume
music, doesn't it?
Body in bloom, the seasons change, the world turns, the trees turn gray, and the land turns brown in a house in the woods on the edge of town.
This is so autumn.
Trying to live but feeling so damaged, and
wow.
all shall be well, all shall be well. Miracles are often inconvenient, and prayer is a spell.
Yeah.
Our April comes with its blossoms beaten by rain.
It's right into the spring.
The hope and the horror singing daffodils again.
The daffodils.
Lace and leather, the one pink ribbon that holds me together, and all shall be well.
It does feel like a physical surgery recovery, doesn't it? You know, I wonder how much this operation though really is like actually undercutting the whole album.
Now I am changing, becoming something else. On in a house in the woods on the edge of town.
Yeah.
Where the healing is slow.
Yeah.
It comes and it goes.
Wow.
And then a flurry of snow. The first
Like the time going by.
Something's gained when something's lost.
Wow.
The world turns.
Oh. The sense of time passing in this song is so visceral. Beautiful. Oh God, I really like this. This sound is just like so, I mean, incredibly powerful and evocative, and you can just feel her pain, you know.
Perfume and milk with a body in bloom, the falling leaves, the fallen fruit. The world turns. The world turns.
The image of like the fruit rotting and returning to the earth is so powerful. Oh, wow. Oh my God, that's so powerful. I loved that. Wow. The imagery in that song was just so powerful, and it just really like immediate thought kind of gave me like post-surgery recovery. You know, she's out in this little cabin hiding away from prying eyes, just recovering, and all she can do is look out the window and look at the world turning, look at the fruit falling from the trees and rotting and returning to the earth. Coming close to death, that's going to prompt some existential questions. And I think like looking at the cycle of the trees and the seasons and the, you know, and really putting such a specific emphasis on like the frost of the winter, the blossoms of the spring, and the fruit falling from the trees after the summer and the autumn and returning to the earth really is just like, this is about the cycle of life. And my position in the cycle of life is that I will be that piece of fruit falling to the ground and rotting at some point, but the world will continue without me. You know, the brevity of life and how it can all be taken from you like instantaneously, you know, how powerless you are in the face of Mother Nature, you know. It doesn't matter like how famous you are, it doesn't matter how successful you are, it doesn't matter who you are when you're on the stage, when you're like in a place of complete vulnerability, physical vulnerability, it's very clear that you are not powerful. Perfume and milk, the body in bloom, the falling leaves, the fallen fruit, to rot and the ruin. The usage of the word to rot is so powerful. The earth and the worms, the seasons change, the world turns. Trees turn grey and the land turns brown in a house in the woods on the edge of town, doing the work and sleeping alone, downloading revelations of divine love on my phone, trying to read but getting distracted, trying to live but feeling so damaged. Yes, it's really like, it really feels like she's doing anything to distract herself from the fact that she is limited. She's restricted to her bed as she swallows down the pills and potions and tries to recover. And all shall be well. Miracles are often convenient and prayer is a spell. This miracle of recovery from this horrendous thing, this is the payment. Again, we're talking about like, what is the payment of the heights of life? Like, what does it cost, you know? And really, we're going through the opposite side of that. And it you know, it's got to make her think, like, is there some sort of like spiritual karma? Am I paying for getting everything that I ever wanted? You know, my dreams becoming true and me becoming a famous, successful singer, performer, artist. Is this the cost? If I reach the pinnacles of what life has to offer, then am I gonna reach the absolute depths? And that's like death. You know, it really kind of has that kind of equal and opposite kind of thing to it, doesn't it? Like, really just so powerful. April comes with blossoms beaten by rain, or the hope and the horror singing daffodils again. So that's the thing, is that like the daffodils for her was such a specific connection to her entrapment during COVID, right? That was like so much of what like Dance Fever said to me. Looking out the window, looking at a daffodil and kind of like seeing the entire universe in that tiny little, this one flower. You know, and it was so like, because like when we all got made to go into lockdown, like that was that time of year as well. She's bedbound, right? And so the connection to the daffodil, the connection to that time where she wasn't allowed to leave her house has got to be playing on her mind. It's almost like a traumatic response, seeing the daffodil and being like, ugh. Clothes of silk and satin, lace and leather, the one pink ribbon that holds me together. Oh, wait, is the pink ribbon, I thought pink ribbon was like cancer awareness. Or maybe it's the pink ribbon is like scar tissue. Well, healing is slow, it comes and it goes, a glimpse of the sun and a flurry of snow, first green shoots and a sudden frost, or something's gained when something's lost. Oh yeah, wow. I think like there is a beauty that she manages to find in the movement of life and in her healing process. And something's gained when something's lost. Like she's turned into a new person, but maybe that new person might have a better appreciation for life because of how close she came to death, you know? Oh my God, okay. I'm going to be here for hours. I apologize for how long this video is. I'm only on song 5. I'm also going to have to be very careful because I haven't even finished packing. Okay, next song, this is Buckle. Ooh, much more optimistic sounding chord. Much more typical chord progression, Florence.
Telephone, I made 1,000 people love me. Now I'm all alone in my resolve. Crowd of thousands came to see me, and you couldn't reply for 3 days.
Wow.
'Cause I'm stupid and I'm damaged, and you're a disaster. And you walk into the room, oh, none of it matters. Oh, baby, I just buckle. But make it ache, make it hurt, keep me a secret, choose someone else. I'm still hanging off the buckle on your belt.
Oh my God.
Buckle on your belt.
What an interesting thought to be like, I could be lifted to these euphoric heights by crowds of people, but it just takes one to take me right back down to earth, you know.
You make me think my therapy is a waste of money.
Oh my God.
I blocked your number, but you didn't notice. Oh God, I thought I was too old for this.
Oh wow.
I'm much too old for this.
Oh God, that chord is just sick.
'Cause I'm stupid and I'm damaged, and you're a disaster. And oh baby, I just buckle. My
I buckle. Hang off your buckle. It's so good.
I'm not better than this. Show me what I'm worth. And hanging off, I'm hanging off. Buckle on your belt. Buckle on your
belt. What an interesting little song to put in there, hey? Like something that actually seems to be talking about her love life for the first time. You know, everything so far has been very much inward focusing. It's all about like her experience. a fascinating part of that song for me is the way that she refers to, like, I've made thousands of people fall in love with me. You know, I can stand on a stage and have all these people screaming for me. And yet, as soon as you walk in the room, my resolve is gone. I completely buckle. You know, you have complete control over me. And she's like, I'm too old for this. I'm too old for like infatuations like this to make me behave in this way. But here I am at your mercy, hanging off your buckle, you know? All these people were screaming my name last night, and yet you take 3 days to reply to my text, and I blocked you and you didn't even notice. This one-sided obsession with this person who is maybe just like using you for sex. But it's like this revelation that like, it doesn't matter how like lauded you are. It doesn't matter how many thousands of people say you're the most divine artist, this divine presence for them. People can still treat you like shit on their shoe. You know, and it still takes you all the way back down to earth. And maybe, again, this is more the cost. You know, what is the cost of fame? What is the cost of adoration? Maybe it's the people who want to love you treating you like shit. Or it's such a powerful thing to think about, isn't it? I want to call you on the telephone. I made 1,000 people love me. Now I'm all alone. And my resolve is sinking like a stone. What would I even say? I guess it's something that never goes away. Because I'm stupid and damaged and you're a disaster. And when you walk into the room, none of it matters. Because I know it won't work, but make it ache, make it hurt. Keep me a secret. Choose someone else. Yeah, like being treated like a secret, being treated like shit. And she's like, almost like she wants it. She can't fight it, you know? Then you close the door and leave me screaming on the floor. Oh, baby, I just buckle. I can't take it anymore. Drinking it down, haunting your city, falling for anyone awful who tells me I'm pretty. I blocked your number, but you didn't even notice. Oh, God. I thought I was too old for this. So this really does dig into like her almost like self-lacerating approach to love, you know, like self-destructive approach to romance, you know. It's, yeah, God. Right, let's go on to the next one. This is Kraken. Oh, God, I love the use of the guitars in this album, just the texture in them.
My body seems so alien to me. I quiet it down by watching TV. The water rises up around me.
Wow. Water. Florence has always got to sing about water.
Catching up with me.
Ooh.
And as it rises to my chin, I should really stop watching. And as I reach for the remote, it is rushing down my throat. I let it in. I grow many arms and legs, and then I start to sing. And all of my peers.
Oh my God.
Took them down. I kissed them all and let them drown.
Oh, this is cool.
I just pushed you further down. Where do you see me now?
Oh, wow. Oh, God, the imagery, the power of this. Oh.
Do I haunt you in your sleep as I caress your cheek?
Wow.
How big I would become and how much I would eat. So some things it seems are catching up with you.
Oh, got the Euphoria in this one too, which is so good.
Your ship starts cracking where you singing through the pain.
Oh, this is so good.
So have I, as I fix you in the gaze of my one unblinking eye. Do I terrify?
Her becoming this monster, this Kraken, monster of the deep, you know, so good.
You didn't see me, just another drunken groupie. So when your hand reached out, do you see me now?
Oh my God, this is so good. Oh. Oh, I cannot wait to see this one live. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. My God. Oh my God, that was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Oh my God. The that like, I mean, we need to talk about the fact that it like this connection, like the story of Florence and the sea and the water continues in this song, but it's like the next evolution, you know. She built a ship to wreck and then she sank down into what the water gave her, into the sea. And here we are. She becomes the monster of the deep, you know. Oh God, it's so phenomenal. That all the imagery in that first verse where she's like watching the TV and she just can't get enough of this. I don't know what it is on TV that she's like allowing herself to watch, but the water's rising and floating into her mouth. And like just the image of that is so powerful. And then for her to be submerged and grow all these extra limbs and all this shit is just, oh God, it's so good. For a second, I was like, I need this to be a euphoric one. I need her to go off. And she really did not disappoint, did she? Oh my God, I love it. Ah! Amazing. Sometimes my body seems so alien to me. I quiet it down by watching TV, grow restless and grow hungry as the water rises up around me. You come on screen, so good looking it's obscene. I put my fist into my mouth and scream. Some things it seems are catching up with me. And as I reach for the remote, it's rushing down my throat. I let it in. I start to swim. I grow many arms and legs and then I start to sing. Oh, it's just phenomenal. And all my peers, they had such potential. The swamp, it took them down. And my love, I have to tell you, I kissed them all and let them drown. You didn't see me, just another drunken groupie. So when your hand reached out, I pushed you further down. Creature from the deep, do I haunt you in your sleep? My tentacles so tender as I caress your cheek. Oh my God. Did you know how big I would become? How much I would eat? So glamorous and ravenous as I drag you off your feet. There's nothing you can do. Some things seems to be catching up with you. You said I would be nothing, but look, I'm really something. Many arms around the mast, your ship starts cracking. There's like a revenge quality to this. As I fix you in the gaze of my one unblinking eye. Do I terrify? It almost kind of feels like to all the people who ever underestimated me, to all the people who put me down, maybe it's being a female in the industry, this is what you've made me. Because of like everything that's been put against me, all of the pain, all of the physical pain, all of the trauma that she's been through as a woman in the industry dealing with all of that bullshit, it's forged something brand new out of her. And this is this monstrous, powerful figure. And it's like so dark because she's describing herself to a Kraken, but so powerful. And it's like, you tried to break me, you tried to put me down, you tried to belittle me, but all you did was turn me into something so powerful that I could bring a ship and break it apart and sink you and murder you and bring you down into the depths of the ocean. You know, it's like, this is the height of my power that I have. And it's because of you. It's because you tried to put me down. Oh God, it's so good. It's phenomenal. And I just love how it connects to the lineage of like water songs, you know. It just feels like another step, you know. It's just so good. Oh, right, I'm just gonna have a pause. My stomach is rumbling. I need to have a bigger breakfast because I always get to like 11:45 and I'm like, is it time for lunch yet? Right, let's go to the next one. This is The Old Religion. I like that piano. Oh, that chord.
And the old religion humming in your veins, and I am wound so tightly.
Oh, this is nice.
I hardly even breathe for some kind of relief.
Ugh.
Something I can crush, something I can kill.
Oh, beautiful. Oh. 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 I've got chills again.
So don't remind me. And it's the old religion, freedom from the body, freedom from the pain.
Ugh. Yeah.
When it's at its darkest, it's my favorite bit.
Got the tension, the dynamic shaping of this song is so gorgeous. I love it.
Scratch at the door of heaven.
Oh. Oh.
But you cannot run
From powerful to powerless. That really is so much of what this whole album outlines, doesn't it?
You wonder why we're hungry for some kind of release.
So big, it's so grand. Yeah. Again, like really fab dynamics in that song. I love the tension that was built up in it. I loved the chords, really beautiful, like sense of melancholy. You can really feel the sense of like loss that she's still processing. You know, there's something like so sad within her that like just comes out in these songs that just feels like it. And that's what makes it feel you feel so euphoric, is because it's like we're praying for that release, like she says in this song. Like, what is it that makes us need this release? And yeah, and there's something in her that like is this melancholic kind of sadness that like she needs to just kind of express in order to be able to be free of it, you know? And that just felt like all the way through that song. It was so brilliant. Yeah, and I just love the way that it kind of like the build into the chorus and then back down and then the build up again and kind of out into the end. It just like really great dynamics. Again, like another song that started quite quiet and small and then like just rose up and up and up and up, you know? The old religion humming in your veins, some animal instinct starting up again. I'm wound so tightly I hardly even breathe. You wonder why we're hungry for some kind of release. Give me something I can crush, something I can kill. God, it's just like the need for like, I don't know, like being wound up so tightly, being like so confined. It's like I need to release so much of like what the whole album has kind of been like expressing, especially like the first song, Everybody Scream, like this like unfurling, this like becoming your full size, like freedom, letting yourself out, letting the scream out, you know, is like within this, that tension and release. And she has the tension in the song and the release in the song, but like, and then like the lyrics are kind of talking about that tension and release as well, you know. A lightning strike, a fallen tree, I'm not afraid, don't let it find me. You can't outrun yourself, you'll see, and I'm powerless, so don't remind me. Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter how powerful you feel, you can't outrun yourself, you can't free yourself from the kind of, you know, your own faults. So much of this album feels like her being lifted right up and then crashed right back down to earth and being completely humbled again, you know. It's the old religion, but the urge remains the same. Freedom from the body, freedom from the pain. And it's your troubled hero back for season 6. All the references to television is very interesting. When it's at its darkest, it's my favourite bit. So there's a sense of like losing yourself in fantasy. You know, that's the freedom from the body and freedom from the pain, you know. I wonder what the old religion is referring to. Like maybe it's like, it's about primal urges, you know. Yeah, really, I really like that one. Really good. Right, next one, this is Drink Deep. Spooky.
Through bramble and briar, under ash and oak.
I love the like connection to almost like old English folk forestness.
They gave me gowns and riches, cut gold thread with their teeth. Drink deep.
Ooh, I love that melody.
My eyes begin to hollow, my skin began.
I love how she like teases these moments and then just calm back down.
What I thousand tears.
Wow.
But still they said drink deep.
Oh. Got this like guttural, like grounded, like visceral feeling in this, like What? Every time it's like, is it gonna go into far? But it kind of goes instead.
Yes, it came from me.
Yeah. Wow.
Made from me.
Oh, that chord. Oh, that chord. feels like it's threatening to go into a big major chord, and every single time it's like, no. Oh, that chord is so stunning. Wow. Oh. Oh, God, the clashing. Oh, the vocal harmonies on that were fucking insane. Oh my God. Like, there's something like almost like kind of Celtic, old English, the brambles, those like particular specific choice in very interesting chords, and like the vocal stacking and the layering kind of almost giving like an old like group of women from like the olden times, from the dark ages, kind of coming together to sing this spell. Like, it just feels so connected to the ground, to the earth, to the roots of the country. Do you know what I mean? It's like so fascinating to me the way she captures this like just magic quality, and that, like, so much of that imagery and that feeling is so within Everybody Scream music video as well. It's just so incredibly well put together and so well thought out. Like, her imagery on this album is like the best she's ever done, and it's so three-dimensional, it's so visceral, it is so like you can picture it in your head, you can feel it in your body. It's just like, I don't know, it's really amazing. Like, through bramble and briar, under ash and oak, I went to find the hidden folk. Oh, she did say folk when I was talking about folk music. They gave me guns and riches, cut gold thread with their teeth. Every night I went to see them. No, I did not sleep, and every cup they brought to me, oh, you know I dared drink deep. It feels like a folk tale, this like cautionary tale of like, they've promised you the world and you drank deep from the cup. You know, I wonder whether maybe this is like an analogy for like her career in music, the promises of the glory of fame, you know, and she dared to drink deep. She went for it, you know. My eyes began to hollow, my skin began to fade. What I thought was a night was 1,000 years. What I thought was a sip was 1,000 years, 1,000 tears. Oh, but still they said drink deep. Like a thread that they spun was a woman's hair, and the gown stitched from her tenderest flare, and the cup that they brought up to my lips. I realised I drank of myself. It's not them forcing you to do it. You've done it. You've chosen this life. Yes, it came for me. It was made from me. Still I drank deep. Wow. It's almost like she's creating her own cautionary folktale for the promises of fame and the word of caution to those who wish to be famous and wish for all their dreams to come true. Like, this is the price, the cost of fame, the cost, the price, the cost, the toll. It's all, yeah. It filters throughout every single song. It's just like so cohesive, so just such a project that the whole thing is just like one thing. It's so good. And I love like the third verse talking about like the woman's hair spun from her hair, which is spun from Florence's hair herself, presumably, like, oh, it always came from me. But the woman's hair, I don't know, like it kind of almost stitched from her tenderest flare. It's almost like they will take advantage of your tender qualities. They will take advantage of the beauty and the poise that you have within your art, you know. Maybe she was blaming the industry for like all the pain that she had, but then she's come to this realization that she was the one who instigated it. She could have walked away at any time, and yet she chose not to. And that really then connects to the story and Everybody Scream of her returning to the stage and the darkness in that, you know. So good. Oh God, it's so fabulous, this album. Right, next one, this is Music by Men. Well, it already sounds like music by a man. I feel that's been a serious consideration in this album, the use of acoustic guitar and electric guitar being connected to Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, etc., you know.
In every book in the house, I don't want to run from love like I had before. And on the way to couples therapy, put your listening to our own demos on the ride home.
Wow.
You have a bigger ego than you think you do. Just let it be home, falling asleep and not looking at our phone. 'Cause I know how to fall in love, I do it constantly.
Yeah.
I fall in love with everyone I meet for 10 minutes at least. Then comes the work.
The cost of opening yourself up.
That stupid bad t-shirt. shit. Till I tried to do something that was almost real life. It's not like what I've seen in TV shows.
Again, the TV. Maybe when she was recovering, it was all she could do.
And there isn't much applause if it required practice. I just got bored.
Yeah, interesting.
There's something called compromise. Never tried. Let it be us.
Yeah, wow.
'Cause I know how to fall in love. I do it easily.
She's really like assessing like her own faults, you know, her own ego, the way that it was easier for her to go to her adoring fans than sit in a room with someone and actually compromise, you know. That's a very like powerful thing to put on a record, isn't it? Like,
Breaking my bones, getting 4 out of 5.
beautiful.
Listening to a song by the 1975, I thought, fuck it, I might as well give music by a man. Let's try.
Oh my god, as if she just name dropped the fucking 1975. Oh my god, that's so funny to me. Oh my god.
Running back to the only love I could ever control.
Wow. Wow. Running back to the only love I could control. That middle section is so funny to me. I can't believe it. After like appearing on Florida, on Taylor's Torture Poets album, which was largely about the lead singer of the 1975, Matthew Healy, and how much of a prick he was. I was going to say a worse word. I know that Florence is just winking a nod and just going to throw that out there. It's so funny to me. Oh my God. Yeah, very interesting song. Again, another one of the songs that kind of has a bit of a slower, thoughtful, stewing kind of quality to it, you know. Yeah, let's get through the lyrics. Every book in the house, notes from you fall out. All the love that came my way, I found a way to push away. Oh wow. I don't want to be afraid anymore. I don't want to run from love like I had before. And on the way to couples therapy, you put your headphones in, so you didn't have to talk to me. Listening to your own demos on the ride home, to our own demos on the ride home. Interesting. You have a bigger ego than you think you do. Yeah. So I guess this gives us a little bit more insight into like where she is romantically, and that maybe like she is actually trying to have a relationship at this point. Because like I remember on Dance Fever, I was like, like there was elements of our romance that I was like, oh, it seems like she's really found someone. And like, oh well, no, it's the end of Highest Hope, right? You can't write songs about sitting around and doing nothing. Her finding this kind of simple love, and then she purposely explodes it in Dance Fever in the bomb, and that's something that she's really played with at so many points in her discography. This idea that she can't like compromise, she can't settle with love, she can't just rest on her laurels and be in a relationship. She has to have the drama. She has to like pursue, this sense of drama. And I remember being really sad when I heard at the bomb that they'd like, you know, that she blew up their relationship. But now this is an interesting thing because maybe it's been this on and off again thing. And we're on the way to therapy, but you're blocking me out. Like there's a disconnect between them, you know. Let it be us, let it be home, falling asleep and not looking at our phone. Because I know how to fall in love. I do it constantly. I fall in love with everyone I meet for 10 minutes at least. Then comes the work, the resentments and the hurt. Picking at your haircut and that stupid band t-shirt. Oh, wow. So it's like she finds falling in love completely easy, but like it's the maintaining of a relationship that she struggles with. And she'll look at the band t-shirt, which is probably a 1975 t-shirt. She's looking for ways to criticize her partner in order to basically destroy her own relationship, you know. I always thought I was nice, thought I was kind, till I tried to do something that was almost real life. It's not like what I've seen in TV shows. It's not like what I've read in books. It's so much harder than it looks. And there isn't much applause. It requires practice and dedication. I got bored. I just got bored. We discussed something called compromise, a brand new concept that I never tried. So this is really revealing and really kind of gives us a sense of like how she views herself and how flawed she perceives herself, you know. And especially you can imagine like as somebody who was like 18, 19, 20, made Dog Days Are Over and the Lungs album and just, you know, got catapulted into success and fame, whatever, and kept coming back and kept finding success, you know. Obviously, she's had her trials and tribulations along the way, but you can understand this kind of almost like this complete detachment from reality And it's like the time at which in our 20s that most of us do all this learning. We learn how to not be selfish. We learn how to compromise in our relationships. We learn all those things kind of the hard way, throughout your 20s, was something that she never had to do because she was on this whirlwind, this ego trip. And yet, like, recent events seem to have brought her completely back down to earth with a crash. And now she's almost like trying to rebuild her life in the frame of something a little bit more closer to normality. And she's realizing that, like, it's not quite as easy as just doing it, it takes time and dedication and compromise. And she's never even heard of the term. Let it be us, let it be her, and falling asleep, not looking at our phone, just like being connected. She wants to be connected with him. Breaking My Bones, getting 4 out of 5. I wonder what that's about. Listening to a song by the 1975. She rhymed 5 and 5. Hilarious. I thought, fuck it, I might as well give Music by Men a try. But that is really, it's so funny to me that she's like so Team Tay. But like, it also, like, for her growth and the growth of this song shows her taking a step forward. She's like, oh, maybe the way that I view the world isn't the only way to view the world. Maybe other people can have opinions that are of worth. And so maybe I will give it a try. She almost like writes off Music by Men. And yet, like, the 1975 seemed to have some sort of worth to this person that she's dating. And so she's like, okay, maybe I'll give it a try. And that shows her putting one step forward into actually committing to a relationship, opening up her mind and finding a sense of compromise with her partner. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. Sharing music, one of the most beautiful things about mine and my boyfriend's relationship and the way that it's evolved is the way in which we share music, stuff like Aurora that he'd never even listened to before. He absolutely loves, and we went to see her together this year. It's that kind of thing. I really like connected to him over, Florence's music and stuff. If you're open to the other person's like opinions on music in particular, it's a beautiful thing that you can learn and grow from within a relationship. And I think she's starting to realize that maybe she will be a 1975 fan yet. Because I like them a lot. I always did. Like, from uni, from their first album, I was a really big fan. I love the production style. I love the kind of like flippant kind of shit that goes on. Oh dear, I love the catchy ones too. And my mum's a big 1975 fan too, so she's going to get a kick out of this song when she hears it. Oh, funny. Let there be love, let there be light, let there be a quiet day and an easy night. Yeah, let me put out a record and have it not ruin my life. This video is going to be bloody so long. I apologise. Let it not be a spotlight standing alone, running back to the only love I could ever control. Wow. She's reached an untenable point. Every single time she puts out music, something happens. This time it seems to be like physical. But like she said, she was in a cabin alone. She went through one of the most horrible things that she's ever gone through, and there was nobody there to support her. And she's like, why am I like this? What has brought me to this point? And I think this song in particular, but like multiple songs in this album, seem to be kind of looking at the fact of like, how have I got to this point? Why am I completely alone? And what can I change about myself in order to make it so when something happens, there is somebody there to help me, Yeah, wow. Let's go on to the next one. This is You Can Have It All, penultimate song, which is often my favourite on many albums. Oh, that's nice. I loved that major movement there.
Sit in salt water, call it a vision.
Salt water again.
Daughter, light a candle, place my grief upon the altar.
Oh, wow.
I used to think I knew what sadness was.
Wow.
I was wrong.
Wow.
So am I a woman? No. Season is ripe.
Oh.
I stay in the house, slip through my hand.
Wow. Oh my god.
You can have it
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh. Just, it's so huge.
And buried a scream. From it grew a bright red tree
The growth from the pain, yeah.
And when the wind blows, you can hear it.
Wow, wow, wow.
You can have it.
This is amazing. Shit. Wow. Am I a woman now? Wow. Oh.
Am I a woman? No.
Have I hurt enough? Have I paid enough flesh to become a woman for you? Fuck me! Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Just like the power in that song, the way it brings together every single ounce of pain, everything she's paid. She's like, I have paid the price. Is that enough for you? Oh my God. You're gonna have every part of me. I just give it away. I relinquish all control. Jesus Christ. That was just a phenomenal thing. I sit in the salt water, call in a vision of my daughter, light a candle, place my grief upon the altar, bird in my hands, a flower, a song. I used to think I knew what sadness was. I was wrong. Jeez. Obviously, like, she became pregnant. With that brings expectations. With that brings, it doesn't matter how far along you get. As soon as you are aware, you know, you won't be able to help yourself from if your mind going there, you know. And so she has to grieve that person that never came. You know, that daughter that was never born. God, how tragic is that? Like, it's so just, oh God, the imagery of like sat in like the shallow water, like, I don't know, like and the kind of almost like the coven of witches kind of like quality to that kind of process of letting go of your grief. Like, it's just genius. A piece of flesh, £1,000,000. Am I a woman now? A crescent moon, an apple sliced thick in the sky. The air smells of fruit and smoke. The season is ripe. I stay in the house, move the furniture about, try and control what I can, and feel the world slip through my hand. This realization that she does not have control over anything. The piece of flesh, just like the way in which it's almost, she's like, she's paid her price in flesh, you know, which is such a tragic thing to think of when you think of the surgery and everything, the physicality of that, you know. You can have it all. It's just like relinquishing. It's just letting it go. You can have all my grief. Take it away from me. Dug a hole in the garden and buried his scream, and from it grew a bright red tree, shining with jagged leaves, and when the wind blows, you can hear it. The way that, like, I think it's just such beautiful imagery. The pain, the anguish, this scream that is such a central part of the entire experience of this album. The pain that she's gone through, the scream of childbirth, that scream going unscreamed. And so she relinquishes it into the ground instead, you know? Isn't that such a powerful thing to think about? And the thing is that, like, it's a debilitating, horrendous thing that she's gone through, and yet something grew from it. She changed. She's gone down to rock bottom. She thought she knew what sadness was, but she really, truly experienced it. She had to go through the physicality of, like, learning to, like, get better, like, physically get better. And from that process, she's become stronger. She's actually decided to take steps to change things about herself to benefit a relationship, you know, and so out grows this tree, a symbol of life. And when the wind blows, you can still hear all the pain, you can see all the jagged leaves and the price and the blood that she paid in this red tree. You can see all of it because she allows everybody to see it. But in that, there is an incredible symbol of strength, you know. Yeah, to learn and grow from something that was horrendous is just like such an incredible way to turn it into music, you know. It's just amazing, because that is kind of what making music is about. It's like expressing like internal feelings, making beautiful things out of sad things, you know. You can have it all. A piece of flesh, £1,000,000. Am I a woman now? Tree grows tall, can't cut me down. Am I a woman now? Wow. This idea that, like, in order to be a woman, you have to pay the price is just like really just a powerful, like a really dark image, beautiful dark image, you know. Right. Before we go on to the final song, quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you everybody over on Patreon who supports me and helps me do this as my little job. Isn't that cute? Yeah, everybody over there is absolutely lovely. Like, a really gorgeous community of people that's really been growing this year, and it's so lovely to kind of see everybody kind of, you know, chatting with each other and it becoming like a real kind of lovely hub of pop music nerds. Yeah, so thank you to everybody who makes that a thing, who joins in all the conversations, who is sending me song requests. Thank you to everybody who puts their time and energy into it, and finances, you know, into supporting me. It really means the world. And so if you're watching this and you want to join in on the Patreon, you can do. The link's in the description. You can either join in the free tier where you can keep up to date, on the £3 tier where you get my reactions to new songs and music videos, discussions. Like, I've recently been doing like revisiting albums a couple of weeks later to talk about the way the songs have sat with me. When I do these, it's on the day it comes out, and I don't have any kind of context, so it's quite interesting to kind of revisit after I've seen everybody's opinions online. I did that with Taylor and I did it with Lily Allen as well, and those videos are on the £3 tier as well. So like the £3 tier it's just like lots of bits and bobs, you know. The £7 tier is like my full uncut album reactions, and then the upper tiers you can request stuff from me, and all the stuff that's requested, albums and songs and everything, will also go onto the Patreon, so there's a little bonus content too. But yeah, if you want to get involved in the community and get all the sorts of extra content, then you can do. The link is in the description. Thank you everybody who is currently supporting me. You mean the world to me. Cool. Right, let's go on to the final song. This is And Love. I'm expecting a soft one.
And love was not what I thought it was. It crept up on me despite myself.
Oh, that's nice.
Surrendering to something, and more like resting than running.
Yeah.
Peace is coming. Peace is coming.
That's such a relatable feeling, isn't it? When you're like, you find like real love and it kind of differing from the dramatic stuff, you know?
And more like resting than running.
Yeah.
Peace is coming.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Ah. Her voice will never not astonish me. That harp. Of course. Yeah. Yeah, really a beautiful way to end the album on a kind of soft note. You know, we've gone through so much darkness and pain. She's managed to kind of relinquish that pain in the penultimate song. And then right at the end, she just kind of has like a slightly softer reflection on what love actually is, you know? It's really gorgeous and really wonderful way to end it. Like, yeah, and such a kind of, yeah, a relatable thing, I think. Like when you're in your 20s, you have this like idea of like what love is supposed to be, right? You read all the romance novels, you see all the movies, like you think it's supposed to be this like devastatingly dramatic thing. When you're in your 30s, it's like you realize that like love grows every day, and love is something that like comes from small moments of connection, small moments of laughter, small moments of support, you know, little things, remembering to do little things for them, or do you know what I mean? Like small gestures, just little looks at one another, you know, it's in the tiny everyday things. It's not in the drama and the devastation. And I just love how like that song is just a reflection on that. Oh, peace is coming, not pieces. I was very confused. Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's the thing, is it's finding peace. It's finding a sense of peace, which is really beautiful. It seems as if like she's really gone through like a metamorphosis in this album, you know, and kind of like one of the things for her to be able to take from that being like a renewed perspective on love, and actually potentially her being able to actually commit to somebody romantically. Oh my God. That is a really beautiful thing to hear from her, especially after the last album. It just seemed to be like, oh no, I blew up my relationship again. The end. And it was like, no. Yeah, it's nice, hey. Love was not what I thought it was. It crept up on me despite myself, and it was not a love song. It was something else, more like surrendering to something, and more like resting than running. Yeah, exactly. Peace is coming. Love was not what I thought it was. More like an animal crawling deep into a cave than a romance novel heroine being swept away. More like surrendering to something and more like resting than running. That's something I chatted about a lot on my Taylor Swift video. Real love is safe. You know, it's trust. It's knowing that like they will catch you. It's knowing that like you can just completely be yourself and it doesn't matter. Let everything hang out and not be stressed, and actually that release. You know, she was talking about like their need for release in a previous song. Like this tension will build up and she will be able to go on stage and let it all out. She would scream. And I think now she's realizing that actually, if you're in a stable relationship, just being together is restful. And yet she's been searching it in the love and adoration of people from the stage. I think she's come to understand that, you know, will be part of her life. But if it's the only thing she lives for, then she is basically allowing herself to be completely returned to zero. And I guess this is thoughts about the whole album now, you know. It was almost like she was living for the stage, and when she was restricted from living from the stage, she was going crazy. Her being completely brought back down to earth, to the absolute like rock bottom, and not having anything there to support her. You know, she's almost like sacrificed everything else in her life in order to be who she is, to be Florence and the Machine. And I think like this is what her revelation is in this album. She was taken to rock bottom through this ectopic pregnancy, the way that she had to have life-saving surgery, the way she was forced to ruminate on her solitude as she got better, you know, the absolute depths of despair and grief and loneliness. And it forced her to contemplate the way that she's living her life. The tree that grew out of the ground, that grew from that scream, from the scream of grief, is the symbol of what she has learned. The scream is the central linchpin of this whole album. The things we said at the beginning, the way in which the scream is the release of tension, the scream of the crowd, the scream of her singing, that tension and release of being on the stage and finding that freedom there. But it's also the scream of pain, and it's the scream of like childbirth that never happened. It shows that her mind is like working on like such a genius level, the way that she can just extrapolate and pull together this narrative that spins around this like central concept of a scream, you know, and like artistically represents like a new layer for Florence. She's always been a phenomenal artist for like conjuring up this spell so that you can kind of have this like euphoric experience listening to her music. But with this album, there's this extra layer of like poetry and meaning and almost like spiritual connection, the dexterity and the detail with which she pulls together all of these like linked metaphors, and the way she ties it into her near-death experience and her growth and her pain and everything is just phenomenal. Like just a real artistic achievement, you know. I know it just works on like every single layer. Sorry, Mum, I'm listening to Florence. I mean, I could pick up the call and just say I'm filming my Florence reaction. I'll just text her back in a sec. That would have been so funny, actually. It just works on like so many levels, and I'm so excited to kind of dig into it even more and just like pull apart even more of that depth. Yeah, if any songs were taken in isolation, I don't think it would necessarily work, but like as a whole piece, I think it does work incredibly well. And it's just the personal story taken into this like huge, like world-ending kind of like monstrous kind of like, you know, that scale is just, it's phenomenal. I love it. And I think in terms of my favorite song, like I'd say like my tops are definitely Sympathy, Magic, The Old Religion, Kraken, and You Can Have It All. Obviously, they're the euphoric moments on the album. I think I'm going to have to give it to Kraken. Like, obviously, it's one of the most euphoric moments on the album, but also it's just that imagery, that visceral image of her sat in her chair and the room filling up with water and her transforming into this creature. I just found just absolutely phenomenal, and just like what an incredible like lyrical step forward for her in terms of like image conjuring. I just think it's like completely like a new place for her to go that is so exciting and just phenomenal. Absolutely adore that song. Let me know what your top 5 songs are in the comments. Of course, I would love to hear from you. And let me know what you think of the album in general. Thanks for joining me for another Florence reaction. Love it so much. If you want to check out my reaction to Dance Fever, it is here. And if you want to check out the Patreon and watch my videos uncut and join in all the discussion, it's here.